your take on life. There's 8 billion people on this planet, and all of them have unique and meaningful lives in some way, but all slightly different ways. And there's so much to learn from each of them, but in the modern world, there is so much noise and so much to do that it's hard to learn about any of them. And even when you do, maybe not even on a very deep level. So I'm trying to ask the people I know in my life the big questions. Your take on God, morality, relationships between humans, politics, human nature, identity. What is truly important? How can you feel? And hopefully by the end of the episode, I'll understand a bit more about my guest's take on life. And of course, I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, Marco Mavrleon, who I think is a good counterbalance to me. So we have our guest today. And the simple question that I can ask you is, can you introduce yourself for us?
Yeah, hello, I'm Gianni. I'm just the guy, I guess. I was invited here to talk about, I don't know what we're going to talk about exactly.
Well, I mean, that's basically it.
Yeah,
and
that's the point.
I'm kind of scared.
Okay.
Don't be, it's going to be fun. It'll be fun.
So just again, tell me a bit more about you.
Like, how specific you mean?
I mean, just like, if you're meeting me for the first time ever,
Yeah.
Who are you?
I'm Gianni. I'm 16 years old here at ACS. And I love basketball. I love to code. I'm very much into technology in general. And yeah, nice to meet you.
All right. So there is this like exercise, this mental idea where like try introducing yourself without telling me your name, what you do, like a hobby. Who are you on a more internal level, in a more abstract way?
So like no hobbies, no...
Yeah, don't tell me like facts. Tell me like, who are you?
Oh, that's tough. Okay. I'm trying to like formulate this sentence. I would say like I'm a guy. Is that a fact? Is that like I'm just a guy? Is it like you mean like I talk about values and about
just who are you? Like again, if you couldn't tell me, you're trying to give the most about yourself, like who you really are, without just giving me that surface level thing. Because I mean, it's natural to just say name, hobbies, things like that, but that isn't all of who you are. So maybe some of those things that you wouldn't usually talk about, the things that are, again, away from like the facts about your life, can you tell me a bit more about who you are?
Well, I'm a person who values a lot like honesty and actually communication, because I've always had like issues with communication, especially when you remember the COVID-19 times.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons I did terribly in school. I really value like good communication, and I can't really be friends with someone or even deeper with someone if I can't talk to them or on a deeper level than just, hey, how are you? And I also really value honesty, because I'm very I am sometimes insecure about a lot of things. So I'm always like, if I have to wonder, hey, is he saying the truth? Is he lying completely? I'm very like, it's not gonna go that well as a relationship or any type of relationship.
When you say communication, do you mean talking or like what kind?
Like initially, of course, when you meet someone, it's just talking, small talk. Who are you? Basically what you're asking me, but now you're asking me on a deeper level. But then like if it's gonna become like a good friendship or like even something more, I want to know like who you are on the level that you're asking me right now, basically.
If again, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Part of being alive for you is scary, and I mean it is for all people.
Yeah.
And when it comes to your relationships with other people, you feel like to be able to trust somebody and really rely on them, you need to be able to know who they are past that surface level.
Yeah, and like I need them to be able to communicate who they are. Here I struggled a little bit, which is a little bit ironic, but because I haven't really thought about it that much in general, because nobody really asks you on a day-to-day basis, who are you, besides what you like and who like the facts about you.
And that's what we're trying to do here.
Yeah, I mean,
expand.
Yeah, so it's harder. You need to actually think about forming like a good response. But yeah, like if you're gonna stay friends with someone or really trust them on a much deeper level, I really need to know what they value, who they are. Because if I don't, I feel like they're hiding something. What else?
This is another kind of spin on that question. So you talked about how you see other people and what it takes to be close to you. But I'd ask another question. How do you see the world? Do you see it like as facts? Do you see it as an emotional experience? Like, how real is the past for you? Like, is it just gone and you're living now? Or are you living in the future? Like, how do you see the world?
So I'm going to be very boring here. I'm going to say when you said about facts and feelings, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to be boring. I'm going to say it's a mixture, but I feel that facts are obviously very important to understand the current events going on around the world. But I feel like as humans, we need to listen to our emotions and our feelings, because that's what we are. If it's just facts, it's just numbers, we aren't human, basically. I feel like, and we don't have like a character. When it comes to past versus future, present, the past is something that's happened. A lot of times it matters what has happened in the past to help you analyze or describe what's happening now. And we've seen it happen. This is probably why I feel like we take history class. Future, I say the future is completely unpredictable. I don't think you can say for a fact what will happen in like 2 seconds from now or years from now. Even though you might think like, hey, I want to study this subject, I'm going to go to this university, you don't know how that's going to pan out. Something could change.
You still make huge, again, I'm using a bit of my prior knowledge on you here, which is maybe against the rules a little bit, but what I know of you, you work very hard on tests and things that don't actually help your present for your future. So do you think that in some ways, do you live like as a slave to your future? Or do you think it's for the good of you now and in the future to do what you do now?
Ooh, interesting. You said I study for tests, right?
Yeah, you like do all these things again. And do you? I'm just curious. Do you really care about the grade you get on that test, or do you more care about the general idea that maybe in the future you'll be happier if you work hard now?
I think the latter is more. If you do study now and you do manage to get those high numbers, high grades, of course, again, you don't know what's going to happen, but you're going to know you're going to have an advantage because you're also going to have multiple like opportunities, right? If you completely stop now, if you just stop studying, stop doing anything, I think this applies for other things too. If you just stop caring, then when it comes to the time to make a decision on your life, you might have less opportunities or options. Like if I do really badly on IB final exams, I won't have my first option university. I won't have like the first 5 option universities. I'll have to pick something lower. And I said that like it's completely unpredictable what happens, but I feel like by practicing now and like trying to, you can somehow improve your chances of a good outcome. And
God.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm yeah.
Yeah. We get what you're trying. Yeah, we get what you're
like.
trying.
This is not only in tests. Like if you practice for something, you prepare for something, or you're striving for a goal, you wanna have like that background. Like you wanna have the chance to actually go for it, because in the modern, like in the world now, there's always restrictions to what you can do based on your grades.
Back to what you were saying about the future. Do you believe, or like, what do you think about destiny or fate? Do you think there is something that's pre-planned for you and in your life this is going to happen regardless of what you do? Or do you believe that there is an aspect of choice for your future, what you're going to do, your actions, and what happens to you?
Okay, so this is very interesting because I recently watched like a video on it, on do you really have free will?
Yeah, exactly.
Where there were multiple scenarios where it was like either your fate is decided because that's just how the world works. Your fate is random and it gets decided every moment because of, I think, quantum physics, because it's a bunch of it's like random choices. Or then you actually do have free will. And then this is obviously like ignoring, I guess, more religious views on the thing. But that really got me thinking. And honestly, I came to a conclusion that like if we don't know, right, we don't know if which one of these it is, or if it's a religious belief, or does it matter?
So you just think effectively, if I don't know whether or not I have free will, I do. I mean, to the point where it doesn't really matter to think about it anymore.
Look, I feel like you, if as a scientist or a philosopher or a religious person, you might want to dig deeper. You might want to be like, hey, maybe I should study it more, see what's actually, how close we can get to the actual thing. But I feel like if you're not specifically going for those, not going to study or not very interested in like studying, hey, do you have free will? Do you not have free will? I think as an average person, you can assume you do have free will and I think that's justified because of your actions, what you're thinking of,
But can I just interrupt a little bit?
Yeah.
On a smaller scale, there are so many times. Like, again, you're thinking about it like on like this like very scientific, zoomed in level. But just think like you don't get to choose where you're born, who you're born to. Because like, I just know in my life, my parents have been so like essential to my development. And like, I didn't choose them. And then like, there are some days where like I get 8 hours of sleep, but like I'm just really irritated and that affects my action. So maybe not on such a small scale, but like, there are just so many things in day-to-day life that maybe make us wonder, do we have the freedom to choose? Like, if I'm angry, I didn't choose to be angry necessarily. I can control a little bit of what I do, but I guess the reason we ask is like on a smaller scale level, there are so many things where it's just like, you have to wonder if this is your responsibility, you made it for yourself, or if it was kind of preset out for you and you just have to make the best of it.
Yeah, and that kind of also brings up another point where if fate or destiny does exist, at one point does fate stop and maybe excuse begins?
What do you mean?
Like you could
If
say
fate exists?
Yeah, you could say, oh, it was my destiny to become a famous actor, or like it was like it's your fate that you're gonna like die from like murder or something.
Die from murder.
Okay, maybe, or it's like it was like destined that you're gonna kill somebody, for
Yeah.
example. But at what point is it was my it was fate that happened that, or it was me and I'm blaming it on fate?
So yeah, a lot of lines with free will that are very confusing. But to just sum up your take, because it's about you, this is your take on life.
Yeah, sorry, we've kind of taken this over again.
No.
You think that
It lets me think.
free will...
Wait, let him summarize it.
Okay, yeah, summarize
what
free
do you
will
summarize?
in like 4 sentences.
Summarize your thoughts.
4 sentences. Okay.
Yes,
Free
strictly.
will. It's debatable if anybody has free will, but I need to really summarize this because I was going on a rant before. And it's like, I usually try to cover topics by talking a lot about them and like slowly piecing it together.
Somebody would know something about that.
No, but me,
Why?
I'm the noted
Shots
summarizer. Wait, let
taken.
me do it right now.
Yeah.
Free will is debatable, but ultimately, unless you're extremely interested and invested in how it affects everything, when you look at life,
You can assume that you have it.
you have it, and because you basically just naturally assume you do, and unless you're gonna do a bunch of research because it like is your passion to find out, it isn't something that you need to worry about that much.
Basically, yeah.
Okay, so I want to shift the discussion. So this is just a big question I have about life for myself, but I guess it's interesting to hear what you'd have to say about it. So
gonna
I'm
move
curious,
my
do you
chair.
think that everything in life is only for your benefit? Do you think it's truly possible to put somebody over your own desires? To truly love somebody?
Like,
in that
are you
way?
the main character?
Well, no,
No.
it's kind of like if let's say, for example, I do something that's selfless, like I push a kid out of a car and I get hit by the car. Is it really that I'm being selfless, or just for myself, I'd much rather not have to deal with a kid getting hit by a car than me getting hit by a car?
Or is it that you push the kid because you understand on some level
People are
that you're
gonna
going to
judge
be
you.
a hero after that you saved this kid?
So, like, do you believe that real, what's the word?
Selflessness.
Idealism,
Yeah.
hope, selflessness exists, or if it's just people are always just wanting what's best for them?
I think it does exist. When you said before, if for example, me, I'm gonna say me because it's all about me. If I was in that scenario, I would not think about being the hero. First of all, I wouldn't have time to think about being the hero.
Okay.
But on a deep subconscious level, do you think that, like, again, there are people you love in your life, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Do you think that
I'd
you
hope
can
so.
really... Well, that's the thing. Is you hope so, but sometimes I struggle with wondering, like, am I loving this person, or do I just love how I think loving them feels? Does that make any sense? Like,
Oh,
Yeah.
do I just enjoy...
The attention we give each other.
Yeah, like, is it just a transaction, or is it more than that?
okay, yeah. So you're saying,
I'm asking.
yeah, you're asking, is it always to your benefit?
Yeah.
Is it always to each person's benefit?
Is
no,
it one all to their own, or on some level?
I feel like on some level, I feel like to some degree, you do want to do what's best for you, right? You want to do what makes you feel the best, maybe, and what makes you feel the best. But on the other hand, when talking about human nature, we do see people that are like especially in history, people help each other out, even like prehistoric or like not prehistoric, pre-civilization. The whole point of us being like how we worked as humans was back then was we communicate, we helped each other
But was that all for our benefit? Because now
Yeah,
you're saying...
exactly.
Did we help each other because
Because-
we knew we were getting something from the other person in return?
or like helping each other and helping the community
but we knew that
at some point benefits you.
Yes.
Right. that might have evolved. I'm not sure, but wait.
That's the question. Did that person, like millions of years ago, help the rest of the community because because they knew
in
that
the end it would help
good?
them.
Yeah, because it would come full circle.
Because if you don't help the community, then you all die. But
and then
sorry.
I guess after you maybe answer this question or struggle with it, you kind of ask yourself another question, which it's a lot like the free will thing, where it's like, is it worth it to care? Because if I think I love somebody and it's only for my benefit, I find out that that is 100% the truth, that I can only ever exist as myself, basically always only try to do what's best for me. Does seeing it that way make you better? And then once you start thinking in this context of better, maybe there is a real love, if there really is something that we're chasing for that's like goodness.
We've gotten really existential at this point.
We have.
I think.
Oh, go ahead.
I think there's definitely an aspect that people do care, because then again, if you didn't care, then you wouldn't be helping the community in the first place. Because even though you care about yourself, on some level, I do believe that everybody does care about others, at least people close to them, on some level. Like, there is the aspect of, like, if you see a little kid that almost get like hit by a car, you're gonna try to save them.
What if you don't know them?
If you don't know them, then it's like a different situation, because like I guess everybody would react to that in a different way.
And also, you never know what you're gonna do in that high pressure of a situation.
Yeah, with the adrenaline and with everything. So anyway,
you could just freeze up.
Yeah.
I wanted to go back to my thing because I said it evolved. I think a good example of these days selflessness. Let's say somebody drops something on the street and you help them out. That person is never gonna really help you. You might never see them again, right? But at the same time, you might be like, hey, I feel
really good.
I feel good about this, so it's to my benefit. So my day has been improved. So that's where I'm kind of struggling to see
that you could maybe
yeah.
find a way to make everything back to being good for you.
Yeah.
You could also say that even though it also rewards you, you did it in the first place, or you thought you were doing it in the first place to help the other person. So even though it does come full circle,
maybe your intentions were
somewhere.
to be selfless.
Nah, it starts somewhere, and always it comes back, but it starts at the beginning.
I think it just kind of opens up this kind of, not scary, but painfully real realization that, I mean, you only ever get to be you. So, I mean, we can talk like this, and I think I'm hopefully learning a lot more about you. Maybe you, me, but again, it's supposed to be focused on you. Sorry if...
First episode, it's we'll get better at this.
But, I mean, you'll never get to see the world through my lens, you know? I mean, I can share a little piece of it, but, like, being Micah Creel is something that you can't comprehend. And I can't comprehend being Giannis. Like, I don't, because I've never seen the world through anybody else's eyes, let alone yours. So it's like, maybe you do care about people, but you care about people as a person, and you're only ever going to be yourself. So obviously everything you do is going to affect you.
Yeah, I've had this fear before of like, I am me. And I can never, ever see what other people think or do or want, or like the perspective of other people.
When you say you can never see the perspective of other people, do you mean that in the way that even if they share their thoughts with you, you'll never truly understand it, or that you'll never truly be able to see like through each other's eyes? Because at least for me, I know that I can understand people's perspectives.
Yeah.
But can you is a question, I guess.
Like, for example, if you're like, hey, this is me, those are my values, this is what I'm thinking of right now. I would know, okay, he's thinking about birds. I don't know what you're thinking about.
Pigeons.
Ducks. I'd know, okay, at this moment he's thinking about ducks. How are you thinking of ducks?
No.
Like, is there an image in your head? What is a duck to you?
Is that like
no, what if it's a duck to you? Like, what are your views on ducks?
What are your views on ducks?
You have so much like past experience that informs what the word duck even means.
There's so much context.
And now you're just throwing that word out and you're hoping that somebody else you understand what the word duck means when he said it.
Yeah, because when you're talking to someone else and they say duck, you think of your own definition. You think of your past experiences. You think maybe duck isn't the best example, unless you've had experience with them.
I've had some experiences with a duck.
Me too.
Oh.
Okay, we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Like
or we
them.
don't have to talk about
eating
it.
them.
Eating them. They're very tasty.
Okay, anyway, back on track.
Yeah.
Gianni.
But I would think of my definition of a duck, or like what I've experienced as a duck, which is not the same as you have, unless you've been next to me for my whole life.
Even then, maybe you would have a different view.
Maybe
on
I
it.
have been.
And even then, yeah, you would have a different view.
Yeah.
Because it's how you, I guess maybe how you were raised, who you're like around when you're growing up.
Your
So
experiences, memories.
your experiences, yeah, that form you who you are as a person. And
will also form your view of a duck.
yeah.
Yes, exactly.
And I don't know, maybe you hate ducks, you know?
I love ducks.
Not that on a deeper level, of course, but
I have
I'm
a deep
just trying to
resentment.
say
Yeah,
that
deep
it's like
down.
It's like you tell me, hey, I'm thinking of ducks right now, but I could never really be you.
Yeah. So you can
like-
only understand your version
It's
of
very
my
surface
reality.
level.
Can we make that
Yeah.
a quote? You're
What?
thinking of a duck right now, but I could never really be you. I'm writing that down. Honestly.
All right. So
One
I'm
sec.
going to ask you a classic Micah question. People who are
we go.
listening to this
Okay.
podcast who don't know me, this is a classic Micah question. Do you love life?
This is very classic, Micah.
Do I love life? I think I do.
I have a follow up. Okay.
Okay, I need
And
to-
now my question is, if life is everything, including all of the worst things, can you actually love life?
You mean all the worst things that like happen to
Well, I
you?
mean,
all the
you just
worst
need to
things
think
that-
your life is everything. Like, people think about life, and in my head, I think I go outside to like a sunny day where I'm imagining myself like peaceful. But like, life is also, like, when I say that word, I mean that plus every terrible experience I've
You
had.
have to think of how
So like,
vast.
can you love life? I guess is my follow up question. Now that you're thinking about it.
Okay, so you said life is everything because like your life, then you're done. Okay, so
Well, I mean, again, but I'm just saying, like, in the lens of, yeah.
to you, your life is everything. Like from your
I
perspective,
wish it wasn't, which kind of ties back to the
Yeah.
whole like love thing, like, on like, can you really care about somebody else
When
But
all you've known
is your life?
You can care about other people's lives, but at the end of the day, the world you see is you. Like
Yeah.
everything that's around you, everything that
is a construct of, not a construct, but like a image of what you've.
yeah, it's just going back
made
to
it
what
up
we
to
talked
be.
about previously. Like
Yeah.
everybody
If
sees
you-
it differently.
If you think of a duck,
It's your
Okay,
duck,
yeah.
not
Be
my
you.
duck. And I mean, that's just so like, that's scary, bro.
it
Because
is
like,
kind of scary.
I mean, I want, again, like, ideally, but maybe I just think this because I think it'll end up reflecting good on me and I like how that feels. But like, I want to live in an ideal world where I can really put others in front of me, where I can
Yeah.
let my friends have the spotlight in their moment. But again, it kind of makes me afraid. Like, do I really want my friend to have their moment, or do I just not want the bad feeling of taking it?
no.
You know, like,
What I find not scary exactly, but just like kind of like awe, I guess, would be like it going back to the thing on life and like how everybody perceives it. You have to think how vast like everybody's perception on something is, because basically if I show you something new that you've never seen before, every single memory that you've ever had will form what you think of this new thing. Because if I, for example, showed it to Gianni, it completely new, your first impression of this thing, you're probably going to have a much different perception on it, like subconsciously or like even consciously, than you do. And it's kind of strange to think how everything you've ever done
Makes you.
yeah. Gianni, what do you think?
I'm deep in thought right now. I was very deep in thought with Micah's "Can you love life?" You
Express
can
that,
love life.
just
I think you
that.
can love life. I think, of course, you have your maybe even traumatizing experiences. Maybe it's not that bad. You know, maybe
yeah,
you
I
don't
had to
have,
talk to Marco once.
That was traumatizing for both of us.
you're gonna have your bad experiences, but I think that's kind of and your good ones. Honestly, I think that's kind of like the charm. You know, you're each person. You're gonna have your own bad, terrible experiences, good ones, but then you're also gonna have really good ones. Hopefully,
So you think you can love life?
Yeah, I
that
think you
the
can.
good moments,
I think it's very unique.
because of maybe, again, just a handful of good moments. Because, okay, you know, I'm actually going to ask another question. Maybe if I have the brain power to remember that you asked it like this.
I have a question too after that.
Bro, what?
Wait,
Do you want me to ask mine and then?
No, I got it.
go,
Okay.
go, go.
So what is your default with your day-to-day life? Like, how do you, like, what's your emotional state just moment to moment? Like, are you really happy? Even like if you're in a good like time in life,
This is
you
getting
know, the girls are
depressing.
looking your way. Whatever it may be, you're getting good grades on tests. Not for you, Marco.
What were you gonna say after that?
But like all these, like,
I know you.
But even
paused.
like your life, you know, like it's moving up in all of the right directions. You go to school, you know, your friends have been good, your tests are going good, your personal projects are going good, your sports are going good. It's like you're satisfied, but like, is your default emotional state even on those good days happy, or is it something else? And what is it for you?
I think in the past like multiple years, like a really long time, I've been more happy. I've thought about it more. I used to have an existential crisis where I was like, okay, it's just the same thing over and over again every day, like the same schedule. And I don't know how I got past that. I just kind of like, I don't know. And when I was here a long time ago in 7th grade, I hated it. I would wake up depressed because
That's COVID for you.
no, not even like I'm ignoring the online learning times. I'm going to because like at the end of 7th grade we came back to school for like a few months. But the thing is, we were online. I don't know anybody. I might have recognized 1 or 2 faces, but that's it. So then I feel like my default state, my default feeling has changed a lot. I feel like I now have a much more positive outlook on life. Like, okay, let's say I fail the tests, right? I've seen people, I've heard people that would go cry, right?
Yeah.
Or they would be sad for like a day or two. When like, but if with the next day I wake up, I'm always like either content or towards the happy side.
So you feel
like
generally stable. You don't feel like things shake you up like they may have used to, like where you'll like. So I guess my follow up to the follow up to the follow up is, do you think that instead of getting, maybe you can be a little bit happier or a little bit sadder on average, but more than anything, you just become more stable in your emotional state?
Yeah. Unless, of course, something really bad happens. You know, that's always like a very like a thing that would affect your mood when you wake up. But if I wake up before I think about anything, I'm okay. I'm stable. I like, and then I obviously start thinking about things and it affects my mood. But it's just, I wake up positive. I wake up happy. Like I on
Like
the
happy?
not like,
like
not like I'm jumping out of bed happy. Like I'm happy with my life. You know,
You're content with how you've lived.
more than content.
More than content.
More than I feel like
Ecstatic.
not more than content. Not to the point where I jump out of bed and start dancing, but to the point where I'm like, hey, life's good. A new day. Let's try to get through. Let's get through this day. Not try to. Let's get through this day. Hopefully some cool stuff happens. Hopefully I get to talk to the people that I'm friends with, and like you, Micah and Marco. Hopefully I get to see them. Hopefully we talk, and hopefully we like laugh a lot. And yeah, it's a thing. Actually, it's a thing I've noticed. Whenever like I see a friend, I like auto smile.
Yeah.
That's no, that's a thing.
If you are not activating Giannis's auto smile, you know you're off.
Press shift to the smile.
No, but I do. When I met you guys on the weekend, you guys weren't smiling, or like Finn wasn't smiling, but I was
Never
looking at you guys trying to like stop my smile a little bit because you like.
That's what I be doing when I see Benjamin. I shouldn't have leaked his full name. I'm gonna bleep out his last name. But like Benjamin, I see that man and I just be going, you can't see it on.
No, but I'm just happy to see people. You know.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, I'm gonna have fun with this guy.
So I'm gonna ask one more question before I give Marco a question,
Before
which is,
you give-
what are the things that shake up your love of life most? Like, what are the things
This is
that
gonna
like
take so long.
they
to
just like
explain.
happen and like immediately like make your heart drop?
Oh damn.
Looking at Micah.
No,
Looking
why?
at Marco,
No, that's the auto
said it
smile.
first.
That's a
but
good
not like
thing.
in not like in like not.
So
like
you're
in that
saying
kind
like,
of, way of
shakes it
having
up
your heart drop.
in like a negative way. You said.
Yeah, like just you're feeling like stable,
No, we had set the mood to good.
but like
no, we
what,
need to talk about the bad side.
What are the things
Yeah,
that
let's
like happen again, like on the day to day? Not like your mom dies because that hasn't
Yeah,
happened,
yeah.
and like when it happens, but like the things that
I
like
just
happen.
hate when that happens.
My mom died again. But
Damn
like
it.
the moment to moment
Cut
things
that
that just
out.
like
Cut that out.
no, I'm gonna definitely
No,
play
we're
it.
playing that.
But like, what are the moment to moment things which just again like happen and pull you down?
I'm trying to think of experiences where this has happened.
Should I go first to kind of set the
sure.
tone?
Yeah.
For me, it's like the feeling that there are things that I'll never experience, or like other
Yeah.
people who have lives that are like that like just kind of don't care about me. Like again, I don't need everybody to be my best friend, but like when I hear people talking about things, you know, like they didn't include me, like that kind of thing, like social, not even rejection, but just like ignorance, like where people will just like not even think about you. Sometimes that'll like piss me off. Like I'll hear people like who I'm close to talking about a plan they had and they didn't think about it, or even people who are far away, like doing things that I probably won't ever do. Sometimes it'll like, and I don't want to be like a jealous person. They're fine to do what they want to do, but like sometimes not feeling like I'll ever be in a group or like fit in, even though I think I'm moderately fit in, at least. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I don't
I
want
think
to.
you're fit in.
Moderately.
You're fitting.
Keyword.
But
I
yeah,
had that
basically.
fear.
So what are the things like that for you, which like they happen and
And
like
you
you
don't
can
fit
go from
anywhere.
like really happy and stable to like
I'm kidding.
all these people that I don't even care about are doing something fun. It kind of I don't know. I'm not trying to be a hateful person, but like that's something that'll pull me down sometimes.
No, I had this fear like last year with like all of you guys.
Did I make you feel
Like,
so
do I,
included though?
especially during the school trip? Yeah, I was saying I had this fear with like when I came to the school, right? I've had it before where I'm like, hey, do I really fit in? Is this really the group of people? Like, am I being included?
Height-wise,
It's
no.
it's the same thing you were saying, right? And after a while, I guess I kind of like I got the assurance, like, okay, sure, like maybe I do fit in, kind of.
And I mean, it can be scary because I mean, people are such an important thing. Because like, look at your life. Again, if you had to sacrifice anything in your life, like whether it was your possessions, your passions, it would be for the people, you know? So like, if you find that the people in your life aren't fulfilling your expectations of them, it can really crush you. And that's why I'm interested in Marco's questions. So
yes,
we can,
finally.
My bad, gang.
Cut that out. My question, going back to the thing on life, there was something that you said that reminded me and kind of brought up the point, like a question, which is like, do you think in the long run and in the vastness of the world and in 8 billion people, probably more, like a lot more now, do you think your actions ever do affect anything or matter, like at all? In the entire history of our universe, in the vastness of it all, in 8 billion people on our planet, do you believe to some extent that things like truly matter?
This is becoming very existential, like very big, very like in the scale of the universe.
Gianni, by the end of this, we want the audience to say, we understand. I'll be honest.
We
want to
understand quantum physics.
We want to understand Gianni's take on life as a big thing. And again, we probably should have slotted out like 3 hours for this if we wanted to go like full.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do a part
How much more
two.
time? What time is it?
123.
Oh, we have to start getting
God.
close.
So
Quickly, snap.
I feel like when it comes to the universe, it doesn't matter. You know,
Okay, the universe.
you don't
doesn't
matter. You don't matter.
So you're a nihilist, but not really because of everything else.
No,
you
wait,
said.
no, you don't matter. But the thing is, we said earlier, your life to you is basically everything, right?
Yeah. If you think of a
Well, I mean,
dog,
well,
you
you
can never be
live
you.
Like
You live through your own lens, so
Yeah.
it can't not be
And-
a lot at least. You know?
your decisions matter to you. Your decisions will most likely affect your life, right? Especially if they're big. No, like yeah. And okay, there's 8 billion people out there, right? Of course, you're never gonna meet all of them. You're never gonna talk to any of them. All of them, not any of them. All of them.
So, Gianni, we have to cut it shorter than I think this discussion could have gone on for.
I feel like it could have
long
gone on
time.
for a long
so
time.
long.
And I mean, I think it would all be pretty good too. I don't think it would have been good, but maybe we'll do another part with you sooner than later. But
Or not.
we got Europe take on free will,
Yeah.
on relationships, on the genuineness of being human, on
On
a little bit of nihilism at
existing.
the end, on ducks. So,
Birds.
Marco, do you think that we have a better like understanding of Giannis's take on life?
I think we have a much better understanding. I understand you a lot more.
I feel like you would have understood me so much more if we spent like even another 30 minutes on
Nah,
this.
exactly.
I
Would've
feel like
gone
I
deep.
I could have opened up so much more. Like,
Okay.
yeah.
Dang,
But
you're making me feel bad about the
no.
Well-
You did see me on a
slightly.
somewhat on a deeper level.
Should we-
That-
okay.
Like normally people
Yeah.
don't see me this way. Like right? They just see I like basketball.
Awesome.
I like coding. That's me.
Okay, yeah.
Thank
anyway.
you guys for
Yeah.
listening.
Anyway.
It was a
Thank you
great
for listening.
podcast. We're gonna still record this end bit because I
Don't
wanna,
forget to subscribe, smash that like button. No.
I really appreciate you guys
This is
inviting
my
me.
outro music for everything I do in life.
What is it?
Play the Windows shutdown music.
No. You hearing this? Doesn't this make you feel like you got to stand up, get out there, do something big?
It feels like an ending.
It feels like
It's like in a movie when it ends and you go on to do something big.
Yes, this is me doing something big. Thank you, both of you guys. It was a great podcast.
Thank you both of us.
Thank
I'm your
you guys for
co-host.
having
But
me.
yes,
We thought of this
your
together.
take on life.
Thank you, Gianni.
I thought about this. I
Thank
put you
you
in.
so
I think that
much
it's
for
gonna be
having
great.
me.
I think it's
we
gonna be
had
great.
We had a
episode.
great time.
We had a good episode.
Right.
Again,
Do you have
if
any-
nobody watches it, we
Yeah.
had a good episode.